Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another session of Global Housemates right here on YouTube, and we've got a special guest joining us, uh, the bona fide internet celebrity himself, Matan Even, who joins us on the show today, all the way from California in the USA. What's up, Matan?
What's up, guys?
How are
Happy to
you
be
doing
here.
today?
I'm doing good. Hopefully, you're doing good as well.
All right, great to have you here. Listen up, we need to start out with a quick introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself briefly.
So I'm 12 years old. Well, 12, 13 years old. I'm about to be 13 in like a few days, and
Yeah,
I made videos about Hong Kong and like their whole situation with the police and trying to get freedom, and then all of that kind of had to come to a halt because of the coronavirus. So they couldn't really protest. So recently, I've been making some videos about the coronavirus, and a lot of people on Twitter and YouTube would like to watch those.
all right, cool. You have quite a number of videos up on YouTube about the whole corona pandemic, right? Tell us about those. Where did they start from?
I actually started all the videos probably before most of the mainstream news started it, and I just wanted to talk about it since it was already affecting like what I was already talking about, which was Hong Kong, and since that's next to China, and since it did
Yeah.
the coronavirus started in China, it obviously affected it, and there couldn't be any protests there.
All right, cool. We're gonna start it off at home, which is California, right? What's the situation like right there? Wait, actually, before I ask that, let me ask something I've been asking a lot of people. When was the first time, like the first time you heard about this thing called the coronavirus? Do you remember anything like that?
Yeah, I probably heard about it in like early December. I heard about it pretty early before most of the people, since as I said before, like the whole Hong Kong thing. And I didn't think it was gonna turn into what it has become, but I knew that it would turn into something big, and I knew that eventually, if it was spreading like hundreds every day in China, there would
Yeah.
become somebody who got it in other countries, and it would spread. I just didn't think to this extent, but I knew it would be something big.
All right, cool. Moving on to California. What's it like right now in Cali?
So in California, I mean, I think there's like thousands of cases. Probably a few days ago, I checked and it was like 5,500. So at this point, it's probably about 8,000 cases of the coronavirus in California. And there's not that many people outside, but there's still a lot of grocery markets and supermarkets open. But everything basically besides like essential places like those are closed. And people here are very scared, just like most places. And there's not a lot of people going out.
All
It's
right.
kind of just completely on lockdown.
Yeah. I can only imagine how much this has changed your life. Around here, we also just started a partial lockdown of sorts. But to the people around the world, I mean, we're pretty much almost going through the same thing. How's it changed your life? You're probably not in school anymore, obviously.
So I'm not even at school. I haven't been at school for weeks. What the most likely
Oh,
thing is to happen, my whole school year is probably going to get canceled since there's only like 3 or 4 months left. I've been doing online schooling, and this is probably going to end in probably a month and a half or so, 2 months if we're lucky, honestly. And but there's still going to be have to be a recovery time, even if it does end in 2 months, which would be pretty good. There's still going to have to be a recovery time of people trying to just get used to normal again. So my whole school year is probably going to be canceled, and of course I haven't like actually been completely outside. I've been like outside, but haven't been anywhere besides like the vicinity of my house for probably a few weeks at this point.
okay. When it comes down to the family as a unit, you were telling me your parents are still working, right?
Yeah, so my parents don't work for anybody. They kind of just work for themselves, and they don't work like around people. They just work like my parents work together in just like an office with each other. So they're not like it would be the same if they were at home, basically.
A lot of people finding it weird, not weird, but a little different. They're spending so much time with their families and stuff. Do you find yourself in the same situation, trying to figure out what to do with them, what to talk to them about anyway, fighting for the TV remote and everything?
No, I mean I'm used to talking to my family. I have a pretty good relationship with all of my family. Yeah, I live with both of my parents, my brother, and my grandma, and we all get along pretty well, and that's normal.
All right, great stuff. You've had quite an insight on the whole pandemic, and you've had quite some very controversial, what I call them, views on China as well. Let's get into those for a moment. We'll start off with China. What's up with you and your views on China in particular?
Okay, so like since I was saying before the whole coronavirus thing, I had gone viral for a thing I did. I got like a few million views on Twitter and stuff like that. of me
Yeah.
supporting Hong Kong. So after that, I decided I was going to continue to support them. And I had a series that is at this point like 70, 60 episodes where I would talk about because the police brutality there, since Hong Kong is basically governed by China. You could say the Hong Kong's government is basically China's government, and the government there would attack citizens that aren't doing nothing. If you look at any of my videos, you can see that they'll attack their citizens, they'll throw tear gas at their citizens. I've showed videos where actually the police don't use like rubber bullets; they use real bullets to shoot people. And after that, China had this whole coronavirus thing, and I think it's kind of crazy because, I mean, if you look it up, you'll find it. It's not that hard to find. You've had uh, Chinese officials that are in like foreign. I can't say the exact government role they're in. It's something with foreign affairs or something like that. And one of them has actually said they believe the coronavirus started in America and the U.S. military has brought it over.
Yeah.
And this is just a crazy conspiracy theory that has no backup to it or no evidence. And it's clear that they're lying. And I also think they're lying about the numbers of the coronavirus. And I think that their
Yeah.
numbers are probably a lot higher than they actually are saying they are.
I was talking to my friends about that, and I kind of get it. I think, I don't know if you agree, sometimes the government needs to lie because there's a lot of people out there who just might be thrown into a state, there might be a state of chaos all of a sudden if they actually told us the truth. Do you think this is the case for China alone, or do you think governments around the world are actually just lying to their citizens in a way? What do you think?
Well, I understand that governments lie to their citizens, but to be fair, China are communists, and they've been
Yeah,
lying about like everything for a long time. And lying about their numbers, it really is affecting other people because they might look at China like there might be certain countries or certain officials who are looking at China and looking at their numbers for help. But in my opinion, if their numbers they're saying are 80,000, they're probably in my opinion at least over 300,000 at this point. If you look at the numbers, like certain cities have actually went from 100 bodies a day like from the cemetery, like 1 to 200 bodies a day from the cemeteries, to like 5 to 600 like for 3 months straight for since like late December. It doesn't make much sense if that's just in one place and that's like just in Wuhan, and then there's a lot of places where it's spread. So it's probably a few 100,000 cases at this point, maybe 300,000. And I think them lying about it could affect how other countries deal with it if they look to their numbers for help or real numbers.
yeah. Let's move away from China and come to the United States. There's been a lot of talk about also how Trump has handled the situation. How about the handling of the situation in California itself? What do you think about the U.S. government's efforts? Did they do the right thing? Are they handling it the right way?
I mean, I think Trump, I don't know how, I wouldn't give my opinion on how great of a job he's doing. I know he closed the borders. I will say he closed the borders to China pretty quickly, even before the World Health Organization told him not to close the borders to China. But I mean, there are a lot of people who say that China gives them money and that they do listen to China on a lot of things. I'm not really going to get into that. But a lot of people say they're pro China and they'll just back them up on stuff. But he did close the borders pretty early. And I think the US is doing an okay job, but they could do a better job. Like there's certain countries where if you go outside, they'll just send you back in immediately. And I know me personally, I could probably just go outside and they'd probably just say, please go back inside. And they wouldn't make me go back inside, which I think is not great.
All right, cool. One I had forgotten to touch as well. I just remembered when right here in Africa, we were looking at in Uganda in Africa, we were looking at pictures in the U.S. of people storming, bum rushing the grocery stores and just overloading their shopping trolleys, in particular for toilet tissue. That was going. People were literally fighting over it. Was that actually the scene on the ground? Was that happening around a lot? And where was it happening anyway?
I haven't been to that many grocery stores like in the past few weeks, but when it was just starting in America and when actually that was probably there were a lot of people buying toilet paper the most at the point. I was at a few grocery stores and they didn't have much toilet paper, but I think it was a little over exaggerated because you could probably go in like get most food items. I'm probably in very
Yeah.
populated like areas of popular grocery stores. It would be probably crowded like that.
All right, cool. And thank you very much for joining us. Some last few words. I need to stop touching my face. Some last few words to, say, for example, your peers, your age mates, on what they can do to keep busy at home and try to get through this period. Yeah.
Okay, so I would recommend probably staying home. Don't go out unless you need to go out. This is a very dangerous thing. It's not the flu. If anything, you could compare the symptoms to the flu, but it is much more dangerous, and this could kill you. If you have some sort of condition already, or if you're of an old age, especially stay in. maybe only go to the market to get food or essentials, but try to stay
Yeah.
safe, wear a mask, and don't go near people so close, I'd say.
All right, cool stuff, man. We'll keep in touch with you all through this journey. Thank you very much, and keep doing a great job on social media as well, eh?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, you take care.
You too.